Basically, these are some tricks that you can use right now to make your experience playing Warframe a lot better. If you want to add something, then feel free to share it in the comments section below. Also, please support us by simply liking and sharing the video at the end, and also subscribing to our channel to get the latest uploads we release. Thank you so much for all your support. And now let's start this video with Molt Reconstruct. If you have a caster Warframe, then this arcane is really great, especially when used with a bloodletting Garuda. The arcane is best in slot for the Warframe since it allows you to abuse the energy restoration of bloodletting. There are also special cases like Gauss wherein I use Molt Reconstruct to get health back and keep my Gauss alive from pesky toxin damage. Since the Warframe can regenerate energy per hit on his kinetic plating, we will always have energy to cast Mac Rush or his other abilities to help us restore our lost health with the Molt Reconstruct arcane. Also, I want to talk about the mod called Arrow Vantage. People might not appreciate this mod, but it allows you to moonwalk in the air for a couple seconds. This is especially helpful for synergy like Wisp, as the Warframe has a passive that allows her to be invisible while in the air. Also, it's a great tool for completing Riven challenges that require you to do headshot kills while in the air. If you don't have Zephyr yet, then this is your best bet on completing the challenge. Moving on, I would like to tell you how good the Duviri arcane called Longbow Sharpshot. Now, its description says that on headshot, you gain plus 300% damage for your next shot. What it doesn't tell you is that it's a plus 300% multiplicative damage bonus in apples after mods, hence making any bow do insane damage to targets. It's kind of sad that this is only meant for bows, as it will be super busted if it's a universal arcane for all weapons. Nonetheless, it's a free insane damage upgrade to your bow, and you could end up modding for more element, critical chance, status chance, or any other mods that you think are helpful for your bows. Next, I would like to talk about melee fortification. This arcane causes melee kills to temporarily increase armor and can be stacked up to 255 times. However, due to its 10-second duration, one must constantly keep killing to benefit effectively from the armor buff. Usually I get 20 to 25 average stacks on this arcane, which gives 4,000 plus bonus armor, but this depends on the kill speed of my melee. This is great for Warframes with high armor, as you can make them tanky enough to do steel path levels. In most cases though, you'll be locked in using high kill speed melee weapons, and it would be fitting to use those slash or multiple status meta melee combos in the game. It's great in steel path endless runs, but you will be deciding whether to use this arcane for survivability or just stick with melee influence for possible crowd control and better room cleaning. Now let's talk about melee duplicate. The arcane may not be universally good, but it does create good option for increased damage and specific synergy. A good example is equipping the arcane on melee weapons that is good with a fast and heavy attack combo. One prime example is the Nikana Prime that allows you to deal double hits with the melee duplicate during fast attacks and heavy attacks as well. The best part is each proc of melee duplicate means you also inflict another instance of bleed. Especially lethal with the heavy attack and can inflict double bleed proc with huge damage. Just be reminded though that melee duplicate only procs works with yellow critical hits, and you must not go beyond orange critical chance in your build for the 100% hit duplication. Also, I would like to talk about how insane Arcane Arachne is. This arcane increases the player's weapon damage for 30 seconds whenever they wall latch, but cannot retrigger until after it expires. What it doesn't tell you is that it also buffs abilities coded as weapons. Wisp Breach Surge is one such ability, and Steinach's Final Stand is another one. And mind you, Arcane Arachne is multiplicative to ability strength, so you'll have better damage boosts when you pair this arcane with Warframe abilities compared to just focusing on power strength. Other abilities includes Ash Shuriken, Baruch's Desolate Hands, Chroma Spectral Scream, Excalibur's Radial Javelin, Frost Freeze ability, Garuda's Dread Mirror Explosion, and Seeking Talon's Contact Damage, Gauss Redline Bolts, Hildren's Balefire, Ivar's Artemis Bow, Misa's Peacemaker, Nisha's Warding Halo, Nova's Nullstar, and Antimatter Drop, Oberon's Smite, Revenant's Enthrall, Titania's Dex Pixia, but it's weird that it doesn't apply to the melee weapon of the Warframe, and lastly, Vauban's Mind Layer ability. Next, let's talk about melee influence and how to maximize its element spreading potential. To spread elements with this melee arcane, you must have at least electricity modded in your melee weapon, or you should use a melee weapon such as the Prisma Oma that has innate electricity. Having electricity will definitely limit your modding since you have to reserve a slot for the mod and it would mess up the element you will be using. But there's a trick wherein you can proc the elemental spread of the arcane without modding for electricity. The trick is with the Dariga Sentinel and its weapon precept called Electro Pulse. Once you have this in your Dariga, every time it activates will proc the buff of melee influence, and the best part is, if you pair this with Manifold Bond, and you have a multiple element condition overload setup, the Sentinel will keep casting Electro Pulse, hence spreading the elements you inflict from your melee weapon. Honestly, Dariga is one of the best Sentinel in the game right now, as it's not just for inflicting multiple statuses, but it's also great when it comes to a melee influence setup. Now, I want to talk also about one of my favorite arcane in the game called Arcane Pistolier. What this arcane does is give your pistol infinity proximity ammunition for a few seconds right after killing an enemy with a headshot. I love this because it rewards accuracy in the game, and while I'm not that good in doing headshot kills, I kind of get the hang of it, especially with fast-moving targets in this game. One of the best synergy you can use with the Arcane Pistolier is pairing it with Titania's Dex Pixia. It's easier to do headshot kills with Titania's pistols while you are in the air, and it allows you to proc the effect of Arcane Pistolier more often than other setup in the game. It's also great with setups such as Harrow with his Covenant that can stun lock a target, allowing you to get easy headshots. Also, I would like you to try Arcane Eruption. This is an arcane enhancement that provides a chance to knock down nearby enemies on energy or pickups. The knockdown goes through walls and are not restricted by line of sight, and it got an insane range of 30 meters, which makes it pair well with farming setup just like Korra, Necros, or even the unorthodox Farmer Nidus with the Orgaze setup. These Warframes can constantly spawn energy orb, hence allowing you to take full advantage of the crowd control that Arcane Eruption gives. Another game-changing item for me are the Emerald Archon shards with the additional corrosive stack stats. Full armor strip becomes universal, not just by using helmet abilities, but also with the Archon shard system, and it's really good to pair with something that has high status chance. The armor strip allows you to kill enemies fast, especially if you have Subsume, also Nourish in your build, which adds viral to your weapon, increasing the damage on health and making it easier to kill enemies in the game. And finally, I want to talk how awesome also are Secondary Encumber and Cascadia Empowered. The latter allows pure status weapons to apply damage over time pretty fast. Say, if you are using a Kuvi Nucor modded for Toxin or Heat, those element will stack up rapidly with the Cascadia Empowered Arcane. It also makes stacking viral or corrosive fast, and I bet it will be very potent after the cold rework, which will be made during Jade Shadow's update. And of course, corrosive stacking is really great with the Arcane, and it pairs very well with the Emerald Archon Shard. On the other hand, Secondary Encumber pairs very well with those pistols that can go over 100% status chance, and what the Arcane does is proc almost all the damage types in Warframe, including physical damage to single and combined elemental status procs. It makes your pistol a great primer gun, and this Arcane is good to equip in pistols such as Kuvi Nucor or the Epitaph. Now, these things are just part one of a video series, and I'll be including more soon. If you want to add more to the tips and tricks, then feel free to comment it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.